Paving Ways presents The Raps, where we highlight musical artists of all genres and their musical contributions. This is the new show, The Raps. I'm your host, Rob Raleigh. I got my first guest coming up, Mr. B.Noir. But first, I don't know if y'all familiar with the term The Raps. The Raps is to talk at length, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to introduce artists to everybody on this platform and to also talk about their musical contributions, their favorite songs, their influences, and themselves. So, without further ado, we're going to bring our first guest on, Mr. B. Noir.
Yo, what's up, brother? Shout out to
What's
Paving the
going on
Way.
with you? How you feel?
Shout out to this brother Rob Riley for bringing me on. I know I was the first guest, but I'll take the honor nevertheless. That put more
That's
pressure
how
on to
it's
make this
supposed to
song
be.
good. Right, this is a good joint. Yeah.
It's all right. All the bad parts, I'm gonna just edit out anyway, so it
All
doesn't
right,
matter.
all right, all right.
So you being the first artist, I
Mhm.
do want to get into your background a little bit, your history, and I definitely
Okay.
want to get into the name B Noir.
Right.
So without further ado, my brother, take it away. Let us know your name, where you from,
Okay.
and what genre of music you perform.
Yeah, my name is Andre Brown. My artist name is B Noir Music on Instagram. You can find me at B Noir on SoundCloud as well as all streaming platforms, Apple Music and Spotify as well. B Noir, it roughly translates. The B stands for Black. Noir roughly translates to Black in French. So if you put it together, it's Black Black, which is just kind of a notion to be yourself,
Hey,
be true to who you are. And the music that I perform is primarily hip hop and neo soul. So I do a little bit of singing as well as rapping. But my skill comes from performing. I met Mr. Riley through some friends of acting. I never actually worked with him on set, but he was on set
yeah,
with a couple of friends of mine on a pilot show called Frankie and Jane, which you can check out right now on Spotify and YouTube. So,
yes, sir.
and I saw him, I fell in love with his acting style, and I just kind of been following him around, trying to figure out how to work with him. And here we are with the raps. So,
Absolutely.
everything happened for a
Told
reason.
you. I told you we were going to collaborate soon on something.
Yeah.
Of course, I never know what it's actually going to be until it
Right.
is.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Right.
I had this idea for the show. I've listened
Mm-hmm.
to a few of your records because I wanted to dive more into you as an artist all around.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, man, this is really, the music was really unique. It stood out to me.
Right.
And my interpretation of the name,
Mm-hmm.
Noir, was just like, oh, it's kind of like a throwback, kind of like to yesteryear
Yeah,
or whatever the case is.
and part of it is I was born in the '90s. I'm 32 years old, so I do appreciate the hip hop of old, but I also have appreciation for somebody like 21 Savage or J Cole. So they're more
Yeah,
of the new era of what I'm trying to create, which is this vibe. This vibe affects music. My actual genre that I go under is alternative hip hop. So I actually stand on
yeah.
that to be. I think I'm an alternative hip hop artist, and I kind of stand by that.
I think that that is the proper title for you because when I listen to some of the records, not all, but when I listen to
Mhm.
some of the records, you have a quality about your music where it sounds familiar,
Mm-hmm.
yet it sounds new at the same time. And I was like, how the hell do
Yeah.
you balance
So I
the like?
that's a good. Nobody ever said it like that, but that's really what I try to do. So I my mom is older. I spend a lot of time with my mom growing up, so I'm influenced by Ray Charles, Anita Baker. So I take a
Yeah.
tune from them and I put it on a new age beat and I spin it. So like for
Mm,
example, I did a song called I forget the name of it, but it's Sunday something. Oh no, it's called Breakfast Club, and the bass
okay.
line and the hook to that song, it kind of goes from beginning to end 300. So what I'm talking about is that song to me represents her wanting a special kind of love every day, only knowing that it comes on Sundays. So I just flipped that to the new style and I kind of sampled that feeling of like we all think, the most important days are the days we want them to be, but the most important day is the day you get
Hmm.
to have quality time with people that you love, whether it be a girlfriend or a situation. And I also talk a lot about relationships. So if you hear kind of my music, you can kind of tell where I am. I'm a single man in America, so I experienced a lot of women using me for money and clout. I experienced that, and I talk about it in my music. And I also deal with mental health. To be full
Yeah.
transparent, I deal with PTSD,
Yes.
anxiety, and depressive disorder. So I deal with stuff. So my music is the way I get all of that off my chest without going to the world and being an angry black man. Like that's what you want to
Mm-hmm.
call it.
The stereotypical angry black man,
Right. I'm
because
angry,
it
but
really
I'm
doesn't
angry in a
exist.
different way. Yeah, I'm angry in
Yeah,
different like
absolutely.
even in my acting, I try to find the rules that's less like me. So I was in a shout out to Devon. She's in Atlanta now, but a shout out to her for putting me in one of her first flicks called Trading Places on Tubi right now. You can check that out. My name was
I
Reggie.
believe I watched that. You were
Reggie.
I remember, yeah, I remember you coming in the house and it was a bunch
It
of
was
women
a
there.
lot
It was
going
it
on.
was some
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
interaction. I was like, wow,
And
this
just a
is a
quick,
lot.
yeah, the quick synopsis of that is, women being a more aggressive part of the role, and Reggie is kind of this in between. He's a baby father, but he's not in the streets, but he can be. That was the
Hmm.
third part. He was supposed to, do some things in the third one that was going to kind of set him apart. But I never got to the third one. Mental health issue got in the way. But
Yeah,
shout out to
yeah.
them. They still doing their thing. She's still doing movies. I worked with Qua on a zombie flick. Like I'm into like being more like an actor. Like when I act, I try to be. I'm trying to look at roles as a pastor. I'm trying to look at roles as like carry stuff as different things that I like to play. I love Denzel Washington. I love how he played a principal at one point. Like I'm into that type of acting as well. And my music videos are reflect that. Like I'm actually getting some visuals. If you check out my Instagram, B.Noir Music, you can see some of the visuals we're working on, some mic stuff, adding some dramatic effects. One of the songs on the album, Route 32, was just dropped on Bandcamp, by the way. It's $5 to go get it. Support that project.
I'll definitely be buying that in a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. That's 5 songs that I actually dropped after taking a 2-year hiatus. And
Yes, I absolutely remember having a conversation with you because I saw your output on Instagram kind of slow to a crawl and then
yeah,
eventually stop. And I
yeah,
text you, well, not text you, but I
yeah. You
DM'd you like,
reached out.
hey, is everything all right? Like, you good? Like,
Yeah,
hold
and
up.
I appreciate, what I'm saying, like people like Rob, who I consider to be one of the industry leaders, not just an industry person, but like a leader in our industry at this level and even above our level. He does things on a different level as well, and I'm pretty sure you'll
Thank you.
talk more
Thank you.
about yourself. But for him
Oh,
to
I'm not,
reach out
no, no, no,
means a
no,
lot.
no, no, no. This is about you. This ain't about, I'm
Well, no,
tired of talking about.
I know. Rob will reach out and he'll check on you to the point where he'll say, "Hey, I might not have something right now, but try this or try that." And some of the things I've tried and worked with Rob on has been successful for acting wise. Anyway, I mean, music I haven't
Yeah.
yet to tap in with him musically, but as an actor, I've been a part of things that I'm not supposed to cast for, and just because of being in the room and like Frankie and Jane was actually a situation where somebody called off, and I ended up being a roach. And if you ever seen that role, that to this day, people ask, "Where's the second part? Where's the third part?" I mean, I'm
Yeah.
talking to Choir, we're talking to Jazz now. We're going to start working on some stuff. I'm actually in the mode of transitioning to behind the camera and doing some documentary work. But I believe in comedy as a place of peace. So I want to do some
Yes.
comedic documentaries, doing some like figurative, like like dodgeball story, but talk about a underground wrestler from Philly. So if anybody's interested in that project, we're going to start casting for that, and then we're gonna shoot that next year.
Hey.
And I'm actually hosting a writers' room in the Philadelphia Library up in Logan. So all are welcome on
Hey.
Mondays. And I'm doing a book club, a book called But
Listen,
Not
keep it
Buddy.
going.
Yeah, I'm
Keep it
doing a book
going. Now,
club.
the project that you have out,
Yeah, Route
it is
32.
called Route 32.
Yeah.
And you sent me, I had the pleasure of listening to a song called Windows. Now, my interpretation
Mm, window.
was the while while on this road, you
Mm-hmm.
got the windows up. And the feeling of it, every time I hear pianos, because it has pianos in it, every time I hear pianos, I think of raindrops because that's
Right.
how I
That's what
hear
yeah,
raindrops is piano
yeah, that's why
keys.
we gotta do music. That's exactly like so Route
So
32
yeah,
is one trip. It's one single
yes.
trip. In that trip, I literally meet the girl that's toxic, fall back in love with her, see that she's having fun at a wedding, right? At a wedding, and I leave her
Wow.
there. And I leave her there to continue my journey because I have things to do. And she's happy there. And I know
Wow.
that's going to hurt her to see me leave, but I have to leave in order for her to grow. So that's what Route 32 is. That's
I
where we
love
are
that.
in the journey.
I love that. Let's what
My
we'll do is
fourth year doing
we'll play a
music.
little.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, you good? You good? What we'll do is we'll play a little bit of the
Yep.
song. I'll insert it here during the edit, and let's break down now. At first, I was just going to break down the first verse, but I think we need to break down both verses because it's like, all right, now again, these are my interpretations of things.
Right.
When I heard the song, I listened because I remember you sent it to me. You was like, "Hey, did you get it?" I don't know what was happening with the email. Email was being
Yeah.
funky. I didn't get it the first time. Second
Right.
time I got it, and I listened 3 times before I said
Oh,
anything
wow.
back to you
Wow.
because I don't. I
Yeah.
like to focus, and I don't like to give a first reaction like, "Oh my god, this is this,
Right.
this is that." No, I don't
Right.
like that. So I listened. I said okay. Listened again. And then the last time I listened to the song just to listen to it the first time. The second time is for meaning. The third time is for clarity.
Right.
So
Right.
during those listens, I was like, no, you gotta send me them lyrics, brother. I gotta make sure I'm hearing
Yeah.
what I'm hearing
Um,
with what you're
so
saying.
so
So
it's
let's
funny
break this
that
down.
you went through that process because that's the same process. This Windows came about. So Windows, for clarity before we like go into it, because
Yes.
I want to definitely tap. Windows came after the tape was done. So what happened was I set up with I set up with my producer. Shout out to Study, made the beat. She didn't make the beat, but she recorded it. Now the reason why this song is different because I recorded it in daytime. The session was for 8 a.m. I did this session at 8 a.m. looking at a bunch of windows, and that's where the name comes from. Window. The name originally was going to be called moment. Well, I say moment of in the song I say gentle reminders. So what I mean
Yeah.
by that is I think when we go through the most struggles and times, we think about music. We think about stuff that motivates us. One thing I think about is Kanye West All Falls Down, and I think about Lauryn Hill's when she says bad thing that. So a challenge was given to me. He was like, my friend Mike, shout out to Mike Banks in California. That's my best friend, one of my best friends. He was like, I want you to do me something. I want you to, he loves my music. He loves my old stuff, Hancock. He loves some of the older stuff. He said, I want to challenge you to make Lauryn Hill and Kanye West meet in the studio. And I was like, all right, cool. And that was a
That's a
challenge.
tall
So
order, man.
yeah, so I tried it and I liked the sound and I actually took a song off. Broken Necklaces was originally in that spot. And that's also on the EP as it's a bonus track on the SoundCloud, but it's the track you can get on Bandcamp right now. So this album went through a lot of phases of maturity because I didn't know if I wanted to drop it, Rob, because it was fast. I had just came off for 2 years and not being in the studio, but it sounded right. It
Yeah.
sounded good. I went to Don Groove for 4 songs on there and Study did one. And I
Yeah.
got one feature on there, Smooth Latin. That's it. It's just me and one
Yeah.
feature, and that feature's on the bonus on a song called B.Noir Can't Rap, but you can hear on SoundCloud. And that was more of a spoof on like dreams of fucking the R&B and like
Yeah.
something of that nature. And it just I don't call myself a rapper. When people ask do I rap, I say I do music. I don't.
No, yeah, you're an artist. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an artist, so it's hard for me to say I'm a rapper, but I love to rap and I love to freestyle, I love to
That's why I
cipher.
did not introduce you as a rapper.
Yeah, I
I don't like
love
that
to
term.
cipher. That's my favorite sport. Ciphering is my favorite
Hmm.
sport, and just jumping in the ring with whoever. I cipher to the likes of next to E Ness, and I've been in
Oh yeah.
studio sessions with. Actually, for clarity, before we get into the song, the most of this tape was recorded at Groove Studio, which is where Armani White recorded Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
That plaque stands on top of that's I mean you can't miss it, and it's very humbling to see that this same mic recorded that metadata. If nothing else, it recorded that metadata. And what I mean by that, guys, if you don't know, if you're new to the industry, that's what drives numbers. So my
Yes.
numbers have been doing. I mean, at one point, I had 1,000 monthly listeners on Spotify
Mm-hmm.
organically, and that was God. You know what I'm saying? I was gone for 2 years working at Lowe's overnight. So this music that you're hearing is me. This is my idea. This is my planet. I'm writing this whole thing out
Love
right
it.
in front of your eyes. And my management team is very small. It's my brother who lives in North Carolina, and I have a girl named Amber Fortune who's amazing with connecting me with different places. Actually, this show tonight, she connected me with. So we can get into the song because I could talk
Absolutely.
about this album forever. This is a
And you
beautiful
know what?
piece of work.
I would be here for it. Unfortunately, the platform only calls for such an amount of time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so the song Windows. I got the first verse pulled up here.
Okay.
So the first verse says, current situations in the media keeps us stressing. Like a verse from B.Noir, it keeps you guessing.
Mm-hmm.
A lesson gets you a page and take a seat. Don't rewind. Put these on repeat.
Repeat. Well, repeat. So
Now,
repeat. Meaning
now
like
what I
so that
want to
so that part was just
let's
saying
see.
like this is what you're about to hear is a message that I need you to listen to again. Repeat this
Hmm.
for this reason, for clarity. Like you said, that's why that's in there. So I say, well, repeat. So it's like I
Hmm.
want you to hear this. Like repeat this.
Nice. Now you talked about in the opening line,
Mm-hmm.
current situations in the media keep us stressing. Like a verse from B Noir, it keeps you guessing.
Right.
Break that down for us.
So I
I,
think
I
I
got
was
my
saying,
own
yeah,
interpretation,
yeah.
but I
So
want
what
you to
I
break
was
it down
thinking,
though.
like, so looking out the windows of the studio, and I'm looking at, I believe Frankfurt or whatever it may be. And I just see stuff. You know, I see trash. I see people struggling with homelessness or whatever it may be. So the current situation has us all stressing. We all want to do something to help, but I can't do one thing by myself. So like my music, it keeps you guessing. What is next? I don't know. So that's how I am with music. Like I go in the studio and the vibe might be one way, and then somebody might come and now the vibe is different. What
Yeah,
is B Noir
absolutely.
gonna do? What is B Noir gonna do? Is he gonna act? Like right now, I'm about to take a hiatus for a couple more months because I want to get back into my acting. I got table reads coming up. So I need to take
Hell
time
yeah.
for that. What will be Nora being next? That's the guessing part of it.
So
Yeah.
we
What is it?
got repeat saying designer got you dripping, what you sipping, white wine dipping, lifestyle different, quite expensive, black car 5%.
5%.
Now
So
this
it's
sounds like indulgence. It sounds like decadence,
yeah.
right? It
So
sounds like you
so
went
so
from us not knowing what's going on to now we kind of in this lavish. So let the people
yeah.
know what that was. Break that down
So
for us.
that was more saying like, all right. So we figured that all this stuff got us stressing out, but what do we do when we stress and we got money? We spend it. We spend on
Mm,
luxurious things instead of giving it back. That's how we fix the problem.
mm.
You see what I'm saying? Not going out and buying a section for our friends that we know don't deserve to be there sometimes. You know what I'm saying? They didn't do the work. They wasn't in there sweating for 6-7 hours in these sessions. And this album, this was the first time, bro, that I went back and went to the engineer that did it and said, hey, we gotta go back on every one of those songs and finish them because this is an
Mm.
album. That was the first time I did that. And I
Wow.
paid the money to get it mastered. So it's like I put the work on this one. So if I don't sell a copy, that's fine. But I know that I took that loss because I didn't promote now. I didn't push. I didn't tour. I set my own tour up in Philly. I set my own tour up to go to Connecticut next month. Like I've done the work. The equity that I put into this is
Yeah.
gotta come back. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get
Yes.
it all back, but at least pieces of it,
But it's coming
you
back.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's
I did
coming
a
back.
piece with Good Soup. So what you're
Oh
doing is
yeah,
just adding to
absolutely.
it. The Good
Absolutely.
Soup
Like,
piece
yeah,
went
as I told
crazy.
you,
Yeah,
with
it went
this
crazy.
media platform, all this stuff is for use for
Yeah,
you.
and you
It's
also can
all
use
promotion.
that Good Soup. I would love you to use that in this if you can parts of that. I got
Okay.
clips from them because what I talked about was very organic. I talked about mental health for artists. And I say artists because we deal with mental health ourselves and we don't talk about it except for
Absolutely
to
not.
friends. We have to be. One person I will applaud, and I want to applaud him publicly, is the baby, right? A mainstream artist
Yeah,
that we don't shine a light on him because of the things he said about, what he talked about, all these things he got canceled. But he said to people, "I'm going to therapy, and I'm gonna bring cameras in so you can see me go to therapy." That's a huge step. We have to admit that we have a problem, and we have to admit to help. I just got my therapist yesterday. I feel great. You know what I'm saying? I feel great. My medicine works the way it's supposed to. I sleep the way I'm supposed to. I feel good enough to go forth with this journey of music and entertainment, because this can be very stressful, Rob. Every room is not a yes for
absolutely,
me either. Every room is not a yes for me
absolutely.
either. I've been said no to a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? I've been told not right now. I've been told wait a minute. So I'm waiting. I'm still waiting for the Netflix specials and all that. I'm still waiting, but I'll get it. And when I get it, I'm going to show you guys what I do at that level. But right now, I'm at this level, and I'm still working to get to a higher level.
Absolutely, and the equity that you're putting in, along with the sweat equity, is going to take you far. At least, like you definitely got my cell from this one because I'm gonna buy it as soon as we get up out of here because
Oh,
I want
man,
to
I
listen to the
appreciate
whole
it.
thing.
And
So
like I
let's
said,
get
take your time.
into.
I want you to take your time. Like, I appreciate your ear and just listen to it for me and let me know where I
Oh,
could have,
absolutely.
tighten it up. But I tried to tell the story the best way I remember it.
Yeah, that I don't give criticism anymore because
Mm,
I seen it be a detriment to some artists, and I don't
mm,
like that. So what I
right.
do is I build upon what's already there. So when we have a conversation about it,
Okay.
I'll just build
Okay.
upon what's there,
right.
what I really like, what really highlighted to me,
Right.
what
Right.
really stuck out, that type of stuff. Because I noticed that the the tongue is definitely mightier than the sword, and I
Swear, my lord, my lord, my
yeah
lord.
I can say some stuff to people and they be like,
Yeah.
"Damn, brother!"
But I
Like
think I
I,
think it just
but
I
it
think it just comes from knowing who you are to us as art.
yes,
I mean, a lot of people. I mean, your name has been mentioned in rooms that you probably don't even know, and it
yeah,
humbles me to know that I even can say call you brother, not friend, brother.
yes,
Like, this guy is a brother to a point where, like I said, he'll check on you, and
yeah.
and he
I'll be a
might be.
mentor, all that for
Yeah.
you.
And I remember one time it took me almost like a minute to gather my thoughts, because I think you were busy. And I looked on your gram, he was doing
Yeah,
something, and he reached out, and I was like, that's not normal. People who are busy
right.
usually don't reach out. So Rob is a person, and I like to call him Rob because that's a brother to me, but I call him Mr. Riley in private. But he's somebody that when he says something. I remember it's a funny story I want to share real quick. I remember somebody was editing Stretch World. He was editing one of your
yeah,
videos that you did. I forget the name of the song. You might remember it, but I remember that
yeah,
video
yeah, yeah.
being so conceptually something I loved. I was like, I can't wait to see it. Then you dropped it with your edits on, and I was like, oh, this is what it's supposed to look like. And you can tell the artist was like, it was. I seen the process of Stretch editing. Then you
Yes.
doing something. I think you might have sent it back, and then you waited. Like, it was a waiting thing. But when it came out, it was
Hmm.
like, I think it was called Buddy Film or something, and it was like it
Yeah,
made
yeah. Buddy
sense right
flick.
away.
Yeah, yeah.
Buddy Flick, and I love that song. I love the it was a beautiful rendition of what you were trying to create with two rappers who kind of knew each other. It felt authentic. It felt like my music. Honestly, it felt old but new.
Absolutely,
It felt old but
absolutely.
new. So that's why I say I can't wait to get a studio session with you guys and really tap
Listen,
into some music. So
we will, and this is documented, and I've told you before
yeah,
anyway, but we're
yeah
gonna
we
say it
are.
here.
Yeah, this
We
ain't nothing new.
will.
But
Yeah, this ain't nothing new. We will as once I'm back in those like cycles
yeah,
because my life is always in cycles. So once I'm
yeah,
back
yeah,
in
yeah.
that like steady recording
And I've
cycle,
been, like I said,
it's up from
I've
there.
been on performance here. I've been on performance here. I've been
Hmm.
performing maybe 4 times a week before I went to the hospital. I've done 2 shows since being home, so I don't stop really. I just slow down,
Right.
readjust, and just attack it again. So
But you're working through it, which I appreciate as an artist. That's why I
yeah,
give you that designation versus just, oh, he's a rapper from such a no,
yeah,
he's an artist that raps also.
yeah.
So the
Raps
hook
also, acts
is for
also.
Windows.
Yeah.
Um, the Windows hook is I heard the refrain gentle reminder. Is that
Mm.
correct? Because I
Gentle
don't have it
reminder.
here.
Yeah,
People, listen,
yeah. That
I had
part,
him
that
send me the
part is
first
kind of
verse.
like, yeah. I heard so. My process in the studio is kind of, let's run through this one time, and if we like it, let's keep it. And I learned that from Michael Jackson, who recorded
Yeah.
some of his songs 30 times just to take the second take. So instead of wasting his time when I'm playing for studio time, I kind of write it out. Cause what people don't know about me, Rob, is I don't write a lot. And
Yeah.
this is unique because this whole album I wrote. So I can
Wow.
actually send you the lyrics because they were in my notes. So
You
when
tapped
I
in,
give it
yeah.
to you, the gentle reminder came when I heard the beat and it was like a little pause. I was like, I don't know what to say
Mm,
here. Gentle reminder. Let this beat give you something while I get this second verse prepared. Because the second verse is gonna hit
yeah.
harder. You know what I'm saying? So
So speaking on that, I gotta get you to go through the second verse, bar for bar. Folks, I do not have it here because I
I didn't
wanted
send a
him
second, yeah.
to, yeah, I wanted him to dive into that and tell us about it.
Yeah.
So
So I think I
I'll cut
started the
in,
second verse. Yeah. Second verse
yeah, I'll
says,
cut in the second verse here and I'll
yeah.
let you go ahead and explain it.
Second verse, I'm gonna hit this like this Kanye. My fault. I'm gonna do this like I'm Andre, not 3K. A white Bronco right behind me. Hit the freeway, Dashberg, go 9 day. So that's a shout out to OJ Simpson. Uh,
Absolutely.
a shout out to Andre 3000. By my
Yeah.
real name is Andre, and I
Andre,
go
yeah.
by Andre as a writer. So what I was saying was like, this second verse, I'm gonna do this like me, not
Yeah.
3K. Like I'm gonna do this like Andre. I'm gonna do this like I want to do it. Um, I said my bad. I'm gonna do this like I'm Kanye because now I'm coming back to that Kanye reference of when it
Yeah.
all falls down. That was one of my favorite songs from Kanye off the College
Absolutely.
Dropout. And then the last thing is this. So the Bronco thing is a reference to O.J. Simpson. We all know the Bronco chase happened, but he
Yeah.
died. You know, he passed away, and a lot of his
Yeah.
legacy is built on that particular day. And I just kind of thought that was a fun way to transition into some stuff. It wasn't really like, you know, power to OJ or not power to OJ. I think OJ should be given a farewell the way you would give anybody else. Donald, you know,
Absolutely.
anybody, you know, if anybody was to pass away, they should get some respect from some people. And I feel like he wasn't given that. So saying his name
At
in that
all.
song to me, because I like OJ Simpson. Unfortunately, for those who
Yeah.
may not believe, I like him as a running back. I know he went through some times where he might have looked some ways to people. I don't know if he was guilty. I don't know. I'm not God. I don't know. I don't judge
Who
people that
knows?
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But what I would say is, as he was going into his last part of life, he did a lot with Cam and Mace, and I love Cam and Mace. I love what they represent in music. So I mean, it wasn't really big. It's not really profound. Like he said something about OJ. No, it was just like shout out to OJ. Like,
What it is it's the way because on the surface, this is very like on the surface for me, it was very literal. And I was just like, okay, cool, cool, cool. But then again, I listened three times. The
yeah,
second time, I start really sinking in, like, oh, okay. And then the third time is for that clarity. So I'm like, no, it's a reason why
there's a
these
reason why I
things, these
said it. Yeah.
ideas were stacked up. Yeah. It's always so
Mm-hmm.
when you just broke that down with what you were thinking about at the moment, what you were going through, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. And
Now,
then I'm just like, so from there, so at this point in the song, I know my second verse is about to end. I say something along the lines of, you know, hey, you know, pretty much, you know, when it all falls down, why do you always give up when you got this music? And it's really talking to myself. I'm talking to windows. So what the idea of windows is you can see out, but you can also see yourself in windows. If you really look,
hmm,
it's hard sometimes to see yourself in the window because it's clear. But if you just
yeah,
stand there long enough and you move a certain way, you can see yourself in that window. So I'm speaking
yeah,
to myself when I say, why do I always find myself in hospitals? Why do I always find myself at doctor's offices? Why do I always find myself giving up when I have all this great music to listen to give me hope? Lauryn Hill, Kanye West, two people who might not have ever worked together, but in my mind they could because I believe in both their music stands above a lot of regular people's music. Lauryn Hill had one album and she's still one of the top female artists to this day.
still,
Kanye West
still,
is considered an asshole, considered a this, but he's a genius in the lab. He samples. So I just wanted to tell them, like, hey, I love you guys. Here's something that you guys can also enjoy from me. This had nothing to be like Kanye or Lauren. I don't even
right.
sing. I don't even. So at one point, I stopped and it's a rocking chair in the beat, and I say, gentle reminders. Do, do, gentle reminders. Right, and I'm just like, I'm letting the beat breathe once again because I know I'm about to go into this that thing that, and I'm gonna mix that with
That,
when
yeah.
it all when it all falls down.
That's
I'm gonna mix
fire.
this. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it really is at that point. It's just a
That's
big
fire.
jam session. I've been doing a lot of
That's
live
fire.
music now at Second Street Music Lounge. So I'm learning how to use a band. I'm gonna tell you, the next year and a half is gonna look a lot different for my shows. If
Absolutely.
you come see me perform, if you haven't seen me perform, I throw my shoes off every show. I still do that. I still do that. Shout out to Anita Baker. Shout out to Anita
Yes.
Baker, one of the best performers to do it. And I still throw
That
my shoes off.
reminds me of her, Patti LaBelle. Like that, that is so
Um,
crazy.
yeah, and
Now
Sam Cooke.
out of those, yeah, Sam Cooke. Damn.
Sam Cooke is a
Damn.
bad boy. Yeah.
Out of those artists,
hmm
which one had the most impact on you and the most impact on your music?
I would say Sam Cooke just because of his tragic end and who he
Mm-hmm.
knew, right? And I feel like I'm in a place where I know a lot of people that I shouldn't know, but I do. For
Mm.
example, Mr. Riley. You know what I'm saying? This guy I probably shouldn't know, but I do. I probably shouldn't know Joel Embiid's nephew, but I do. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like this is people I'm just throwing out. I probably shouldn't know Bad Betty Enos, but I do. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So I feel like, sometimes I do feel like my life is not coming to an end, but I'm coming to a point where I'm not going to be in public as much, and the people that I know will know why. And
absolutely.
Sam Cooke was at a point. If you watch Five Nights in Miami, a piece by Regina King, which was
Oh yeah, that was a
book,
beautiful. Yeah, beautiful
amazing
movie.
book by the way, as well
And
as
yeah, the
amazing
book.
movie. But what you'll find about Sam Cooke is he, out of Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, and Jim Brown, was the wild one. Yeah, and Malcolm X actually honed him in and said, "Listen, you're doing amazing. I love you as a brother, but you got this guy named Bob Dylan who's making these uh political statements about things that we're going through, and you can do the same. Which you got publishing rights, you can
Yes.
do whatever." And he was getting, and what people got to find out and know, he was being introduced into a white America who wasn't ready for him. Now white America welcomes black music. I'm going to be the new Sam Cooke. I'm going to talk
Oh, I
politically
like
once I
that.
get to that level. When I get to
I like that.
if I if it, and I'm not talking politics. I'm saying if I get on a Republican standout or I get on a Democrat standout and I get to perform my music, Windows will be the song I do. Hancock will be
Mm.
music I do. Songs about love is what I would do. But I also got pieces about political. I got a song called Pardon the Interruption. It's about being it's a sample from I can't get the artist name right now, but I'm a dinner, I'm a nutty, I'm that nigga in the eye. Like I'm using that sample to talk about political distress,
Pusher
talking
Man.
about tearing
Yeah.
shit up. I was a part of the not the riots, but I was a part of the peaceful protest when George Floyd died in Philadelphia. I was
Yeah.
leading marches. So I know about that. I know about how it was to fight and to feel like you was gonna get shot at every day by the National Guard. I'm in the National Guard. So I
Yeah.
know things. You know what I'm saying? So when I get a chance to speak my truth, best believe all my African American literalists and nationalists and people who fight for the right, I'm going to do something with my music. What are you going to do to put on your
Oh.
platform? This is a new platform right now. We don't know where this will go, but I'm talking politically, not to say I know politics. I'm saying as an artist, my place is to sing and to provide the soundtrack for the movement. This is a
Yeah.
neo renaissance, a new
Yeah.
beginning, a new beginning. Once this whole thing with, and I'm not. Let me break this down by saying this. I don't know whether Diddy is guilty or not. You see what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yes, sir.
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't
So,
know.
but once this happens, right, and this veil is lifted, and we see the music industry what it is, it's going to be a neo renaissance. It has to be now because the top is now the bottom, and the bottom
Mm.
somehow is now creeping up to become. It's not yet. It's like a backflip. It's almost
It's
there,
inverted.
but
Yeah.
once it turns, people like Mr. Riley, people like Jazz, people like I'm just talking people we know, Qua.
Yeah.
Those will be the new industry leaders because they already been doing it. During the pandemic, we did a lot of work that wasn't. I mean, even Frankie and Jane, if they were just to release that piece by piece now, people would lose their minds. I mean, your episode was like profound. It was like you was running around with a straight jacket and like you had these messages of hope, but you were going crazy. So it's
That,
like,
yeah,
this is real life though.
that was all
Mental
by
health.
design. Yeah.
This man is running around in a straitjacket like, don't hit women. And he runs off the camera. They chasing this man this whole episode and they never get him. And it's just a lot of comedy that tells truth. And I feel like we can tell
Yeah.
more in comedy. So, I'm not super serious when I do my music. Reason why I'm saying that is you always hear me laugh. If you listen to
Yeah.
the end of Windows, you'll hear me say, and that's live. That's me in the booth. Like I just did that. I'm like, yo, that felt good to do. We're done. That was the take. I doubled it, put the ad libs on, we got out the studio. We didn't stay there all day. I don't
I
play.
love it,
I
man.
get in and I
I
get out.
love
So
it.
now I'm glad you got
Now,
Windows. That's my favorite track off the tape.
yeah, Windows is for now until I
Yeah.
get the music, which I encourage everybody here to do. We're
Thank you
going to
so
have
much.
that link up for the Bandcamp. Please tell the people where they can find you and follow you, and also
Yeah.
where they can get your music.
Yeah, you can follow me at B.Noir Music on Instagram. I do a lot on SoundCloud just because it's faster. People that know what I mean by that, you send your stuff to whatever. It takes sometimes 10 days to be cleared, but that's what we struggle with. We need to find new platforms. All the waymakers I'm asking right now, we need a new platform to pay you guys to put our music out because this is not going to work at this level. But you can find me on Spotify, B Noir, B dot Noir, not B slash. Is a B dot. You'll find me in there. I have 1,000 monthly listeners on Spotify last time I checked. And I'm also heavy on TikTok and TikTok Live. So join me there. And I'm also at Lockaware Radio every Monday for Authentic Philosophies, which is a podcast, 11 to
Hey,
12. And last but not least, my show will be starting in the wintertime season called the 1 Hour Show, which is an hour with
hey,
your boy B Noir, Mr. Riley, will
hey.
probably pop in. And what it is,
Oh, definitely.
give me a second. It's kind of what Castanet does, where it kind of put a camera there and let you react as a live audience. I'm just gonna put an hour there and let it count down, and whatever happens in that hour is going to happen. Some days I might paint, color. Some days, I might eat some chicken wings or do a mukbang. I don't know. I haven't planned too much into it. I got some special guests. I got somebody that's gonna be bringing me raps and having fun and bringing me flip flops and all types of fun stuff. Shout out to
Yeah, that's
OBH.
fire.
Shout out to Razor. Oh my God, it's just amazing time to be an artist and be free. I think for the first
Amazing
time I'm
time.
free. I think I'm free. I don't have a true management for my music. I actually have a manager that helps me with fashion. I'm working on getting to fashion this year. But yeah, and also with that being said, if any talent agents that need talent, like I'm looking for a manager to help me on stage. I don't like even I know Rob talked about today getting footage. That's gonna be hard. I go to shows by myself. So you know what I'm saying? I gotta ask somebody that I don't know to hold my camera, which is fine, but this is also Philadelphia. We know so I love my city, but I can't live in my city if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So
Listen, he's definitely honest. B Noir, thank you for coming through. Thank you for being our first guest on Paving Ways, the
shout
Raps.
out to Paving Ways,
Um,
the Rats, baby.
we had a great time with you. We look forward to any new projects that you got coming out. Also, that new Route 32 is on
Mm-hmm.
Bandcamp right now, folks. Get that while you
Yeah.
can, because I'm gonna
And
get mine
if
as
you
soon
ain't
as
got
we
the
hang
if
up.
if you ain't got the money to buy, you can listen to it as many times as you want, and you can send the information when you get a chance to your email to buy it
To
later. Maybe buy
purchase.
it for the holidays. Yeah, to purchase. But like I said, that's the way to purchase it. But you can also listen to it on SoundCloud, and I'm gonna put it on YouTube at some point as well.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. We had a good time. This is the Raps. I'm Rob Raleigh. Our first artist, B Noir. Look out for that playlist
More
at the
music,
end of the season. All right.
sir.
Peace.